outward through the thighs, it activates a couple muscles here on the outer hips, and that's useful for stabilizing the pelvis and just overall making, when we can get these guys to turn on, the rest of the pose can hopefully be a little easier. For example, we won't need to work as hard in the lower back and in some other places when these guys are awake. Sound good? Okay, so let's come lay down on the mat with your strap around the thighs and the knees bent, feet on the floor. And just take a second to land, to arrive into this position. Maybe for me, always a few little wiggles feel good. And before we begin with any of the work, let's just take a little check-in with ourselves. Notice how your body feels right here, right now. Notice how you relate to gravity. Which parts of you are touching the floor, which parts of you have some space. And just very gently, let your head start to roll from side to side, kind of like you're saying no in slow motion. And then we'll let the head center and bring your attention to the legs and the strap that's around the thighs. And just feel what happens in your body when you press the thighs outward into your strap, and then you'll back off of the pressure. So do this a few times. Let's press out and let it relax. And we can actually add breath to this. So let's inhale. And as the exhale comes, press the thighs out into the strap. And on the inhale, you'll let the pressure go. So take a couple more times, pressing on the exhale. And hopefully you're feeling just a little wake up going on in the outer hips. And you'll likely also notice that the weight goes towards the pinky side of the foot. So let's add in another piece to this. As the legs are pressing out, can you also press down through the ball of the big toe on the inner foot? And those two actions together might turn on the outer hips even more. Let's do that a few more times. Every time you press out, root down through the ball of the big toe. All right, so let's keep a light pressure going on in the strap and add in another thing with the feet. So pay attention to the right foot here and press the heel a little more firmly into the floor. And now see how that wakes up the glutes in the back. And then do the other side. So the left one presses, kind of like you're walking in slow motion in place. So the whole time we have a little pressure out on the strap, and we're alternating which heel is pressing into the floor, and then it releases as the other one presses. Yeah, and you'll feel the pelvis shift a little as you take this. Good. And then take a little break, just relax completely. All right. Now, I know some of you might not choose to bridge up here, and if that's you, you'll stick with what you've been doing. If you'd like to bridge up, let's press out into the strap, root down through the ball of the big toe, and let the hips lift, but not super duper high, just a comfortable amount. And like we just did a second ago with the hips on the floor, slowly press one heel, and then back it off and press the other heel. Yeah, and do that a few times. Let's keep the arms down and pressing into the floor just for some added stability there. Great. And then we'll back it off, release the hips down to the floor, just relax for a second. Yeah, we are gonna keep the strap on still, but just to take a little break, if it feels okay to lift the legs and just move the legs around a little bit, take a second there. Okay, so this next one is a little bit like torture, but it'll be quick. So roll over onto one side, just pick a side, right or left. And we'll keep the knees bent and the strap around the thighs and just relax for a second to get situated. The bottom arm can either be flat and you rest your head there, or you could bend the elbow and put the head up if that's more comfortable. So from this position, first notice whatever side of the waist is down on the floor, it has a tendency to kind of just sink down. Can you lift that side of the waist up? And then the top leg, can you lift it up until there's some tension on the strap? Yeah, great. And then let's take the top hand and put it on your hip just to make sure the pelvis doesn't move. And very, very slowly bend and straighten the top leg. Yeah. Now when the leg is straight, it'll increase the load, so it'll feel like a little more work. Are you finding that, Sarah? Yeah, me too. Good. Okay, we're gonna make it a little worse. Take a little break. And then when we lift up again, you'll press into the strap and let the knee turn up and the foot turn down, so it's external rotation. Keep the hand to the hip and then go again, bend and straighten. Holy moly. Yeah. Keep the waist lifted on your underside. That's it. And then relax. We'll take one last position here before a second side, of course. So let's go one more time. We press out. This time the knee turns down and the foot goes up. This is internal rotation. And we go again. Actually, this one's for me not as bad as the other one. Yeah, so the whole time keep a little tension on the strap and keep the underside of the waist lifted. Okay, and then relax, set the knee down. Great. We're going to do all of that on side two. You can just roll over. I'm going to turn over this way, though, so I'm not throwing my back to you. Yeah. This way so I can still see you. Circus trick here. All right, and then lay down in whatever position you did on the first side here, just so your head is supported. First, we'll lift the underside of the waist up, and then we'll lift the top leg into the strap so that it's taut. Let's go back and forth, starting with this parallel position. Yeah. Now, if hammies are tight, don't worry about that. Getting the leg completely straight is not important. It's more about finding the work here in the outer hip. Yeah. Good. And then last one, we'll take a little break. And then we'll do our external rotation and our internal rotation. So up we come again. Lift the underside of the waist. Knee goes a little up, foot goes a little down. Back and forth we go. Oh. Sarah, is this the worst one for you, this external rotation? I think this one, yeah. Yeah, for me it is for sure. Okay, rest. Last one. Yay. Up we come. Knee turns a little down, foot turns a little up, back and forth, go. All right, hooray, we're done. Release. Yeah. Good job, you guys. Let's come onto your back. You can remove the strap. Just put it to the side. I'm going to stretch out the hips a little bit after what we just did. Yeah. But don't worry, there's more work to come. So come on down and let's start here. Whatever leg you just finished, what was just on top, keep that leg down and lift the opposite leg into the figure four position. So ankle crosses over the knee. That's it. And then because we just worked here, you might even stay. You might not come up. If you want to come up, you can lift the bottom leg. Oh, yeah, and maybe take a little rock. Be gentle here. Don't do anything too extreme. We'll stretch it out later again. Hopefully it hits the spot, yeah, right in there. And then let's undo, change to second side. And if it's too much, just keep the foot on the floor. If you want to add a little rock, a little movement, anything there is fine. Right, friends, let's release that and just bring both knees into the chest. Give the legs a little stir, just make some circles. And we can go the other direction. Good, good. So let's turn over and we'll meet in the all fours position. Do feel free to put extra padding down. Oh, you've got a double mat. Yeah. Good, yeah. At home I practice it on the carpet and it's so soft and
well, I've got hardwood floors at home, yes, hardwood floors here. Like, yeah, I gotta have that double mat for me.
So let's start to move the spine a little bit here. And at first, yogi's choice. Whatever feels good. Big movements, small movements. I always think we could just do a whole class of this kind of thing. Yes, we're going to add on to this and we'll make kind of a circular cat-cow. So let's pause in the center. Yes. Okay. Inhale here. And as you exhale, press and round up into cat pose and stay around as you shift back to child's pose. The elbows can bend. And then on the inhale, without moving the hands, try to drag them towards your knees. The hips will lift up, the arms will go straight, and here we are in our cow pose. Yeah. So the exhale, we round and go back, child's pose. And the inhale will pull forward and come back up again. Yeah, so it's like an exaggerated movement, cat-cow, sort of a circular-ish pattern. All right, and then let's take last one here. We'll meet in the child's pose, and if you can have the toes tucked under, do. And if that's no good for any reason, just keep the toes flat. Yeah. If you're able to scooch the knees back here, do that. And gently press the mat forward with your hands and reach back through the center of your heels. Good. And then we'll come out of this, back to all fours, undo the feet and give them a little shake. Just a little tap out, yeah. And then after that, let's take one leg, just take the right leg back, go a little forward and back to stretch out the back of the knee. Awesome. And then side two. Great. Okay, let's come off the hands and come down forward onto the belly here. And you can, once you're down on the belly, stretch the legs back one at a time, just back and down to get a little extra space. And let's have the arms back alongside you, backs of the hands to the floor for the moment. Yeah. Now first, we'll lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. The chest will lift a little, and we want to engage the upper back. Go more forward than upward. And then relax down. Let's do that 2 more times. So lift the front of the shoulders, collarbones broaden, come up. And then we're down. Now this time we'll go again, but start with the arms. Lift the shoulders and then lift the arms. And then lift the head and turn the palms of the hands towards your legs. Gorgeous. Lower it down. We'll do that 1 more time. First lift the shoulders, then lift the arms, then the chest, and turn the hands towards your legs. 1 more time, and we'll add the legs if anybody wants to. So go ahead, get yourself up there, and once you're in position, lengthen back through the toes to lift the legs. Yeah, beautiful. Great. Let's reset, hands just right under the shoulders, lower the feet back down. Press back, we'll go through child's pose with the toes tucked under. Yeah, keep the hips a little lifted. Exactly. And then in a second here, we'll head into down dog. Let's go nice and slow. Lift up through the knees first. Press the mat forward with the hands. And before we straighten the legs, remember how it felt here to have the strap around the thighs? Press out into your imaginary strap. Look at your feet and notice how the feet bow out. Hug the ankles in enough so your feet align. And then start to re-straighten the legs. And they're probably a little stiff. If you want to pedal here, you can. We'll do that same action again in a second, but take a little hamstring stretch, whatever feels good. And then let's go 1 more time. Little bend in the knees. Press out into your imaginary strap. Hug in through the ankles, and then slowly here let the hips start to lift as we return to downward dog. Yes, indeed. And then to get out of this one, let's separate the feet wide and bend your knees, walking the hands back towards the legs, forearms just on the thighs. Coming into this standing squat position. Exactly. Let's move the wrists around a little bit. Yes, you can put the elbows on the legs, just kind of to prop yourself up. And then we'll press down through the soles of the feet. Use the inhale to rise. All the way up we stand. And exhale to bring the arms down. All right, I'm not so cold anymore. I'm going to take this one off. Good. All right, friends. So from here, let's take just a little, I call this the slither asana. You keep the kind of wide stance, bend the knees a little bit, and just let your body slither around. Any way that it wants to go is fine. Big movements, small movements, you decide. Great. All right, and then we'll let that settle down. Return just to a quiet standing position, and let's reset your feet so they're roughly hips width distance apart. Bend the knees, bring the hips back just a bit here, not too far. And remember when we had the strap, press out into your imaginary strap and press down through the ball of the big toe. Keep all of that, sink a little deeper if you're able to. Hands can come to prayer. And let's press the heels of the hands in towards the midline. Sometimes that helps engage the core a little bit more. Yeah, so here we are, Utkatasana, our fierce pose. Lift up through the toes, spread them wide. And then as the toes come down, bring the hips back a little more. Yeah, continue to press out through the thighs and down through the ball of the big toe. Looking really good. Root down to rise up. Inhale, we stand. Exhale, release the arms. All right, so we'll take a little, it's a flow, but it's a slow flow sequence, and we'll be doing lunge with the knee down. If anybody needs padding for that, have that. If you like blocks for your hands, have them handy just at the front. Good. All right, so here we are standing at the top. Feet can touch, or I always like a little space that feels better to me, up to you. Root down through the feet. Inhale, up we come. Exhale, down we go, forward fold, maybe bending the knees. That's it, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down we come. Let's step the right leg back and lower the knee down onto the floor. Yeah, let's just take a few moments here. Any way you want to do this is fine. Bend and straighten the front leg. Go quickly, you can go slowly. I always like the blocks for this myself. Remember our strap here. Now we're going to use our own hand. Put the left hand on the outside of the thigh and gently press the leg and the hand into each other and see how that changes the position. Yeah. All right, we'll release that, and then we'll come up with the arms in the torso and find that again. So just press into your imaginary hand. Root down through the ball of the big toe to counter the movement. Yeah. From the abdomen, can you lift up? From the arms, the triceps to the pinkies lift up. But then relax the neck, the inner part of the shoulders. Beautiful. Let's take one more breath in. And then on the exhale, we come down, release the arms. Tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. And then we'll bend the back knee and go straighter in the front leg. Yeah. And then let's take a little tail wag. The pelvis will just shift a bit side to side. Kind of an awkward one. Good. All right. From here, let's rebend the front knee, re-straighten the back leg. If you are on the blocks, move them out of the way. We'll step back just a brief plank and then plank to the belly. Use the plank as a transition. Exactly. All right, guys, for this round, let's keep the hands where they are, right beside the lower ribs. And like we did on the other one, lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. Beautiful. Point the elbows towards the back wall, and without moving your hands, try to drag your hands towards your feet. The chest moves forward as we lift a little bit. Think forward before upward. Gorgeous. Lower it down. Do that a few more times. So this little pull with the hands and the reach with the chest. That's what we want to work on here. And down. Yeah, just a couple more on your own. Good. All right, friends, on this next one here, let's press up and back. Go to down dog. You can go through the knees here. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. I'm going to have us repeat these actions again and again. So a little bend in the knees. Press the mat forward so your hips can move back. And then press out into your imaginary strap. Again, a little bit through the ankles and re-lengthen the legs. Nice work. We'll come to the front of the mat, feet to the hands, and we'll stay low. Yeah? Once you're there, just do this a few times. Hands come up to the shins, right below the knees. Inhale, the chest comes forward, legs can be bent or straight. And then on the exhale, come down a little. You can bend the knees on the way down. Do that a few times. Yeah. All right, guys, next time we come down, we've got a second side. So if you're using the blocks, find them. Left leg comes back, knee to the floor. You got it. And then if it feels good to move a little bit back and forth on the right leg, any way you want to do this is fine. Yeah? You feel free to keep the foot down. Feel free to lift the sole of the foot up. All right, let's pause next time the front knee bends. Left hand stays put, right hand comes to the outside of the right thigh. Press thigh and hand into each other like you did when you had the strap there. See how that feels. Counter it in the foot, root down through the ball of the big toe. That's it, and then we'll back it off. And come up into your high lunge. So arms will lift, high torso. Keep the back knee down. Yeah. All right, starting again in the legs, press out into your imaginary hand or strap, root down through the ball of the big toe, lift up through the abdomen. Yeah, but relax the shoulders. Nice job, you guys. One more breath in. Exhale, we take it down. Tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. This other version of lunge. And then we'll bend the back knee and straighten-ish the front leg. If it feels good or interesting to take a little tail whack, back and forth we go a couple of times. Yeah. Good. Now to get out of this one, let's rebend the front knee. Step the back foot forward. Root down through both legs. Use the inhale to rise all the way up and come. And exhale to bring the arms down. Yeah. All right. So from your standing position here, I call this one the hula hoop asana. Just take a few little circles. Softness in the knees, softness in the ankles, and feel the weight shifts around in your feet. Now let's go the other direction. Great. All right. So from here, let the movement settle. Let's return to our Utkatasana, our chair pose. So you bend the knees, bring the hips back, press out into your imaginary strap, and root down through the ball of the big toe. I'm going to face you. So let's take the hands to prayer like we did on this last one. And you might remember when we were laying on the back, we did something similar. On one, let's do right side. You'll press the heel downward and let the left side lighten, but don't actually lift it. That's it. And then press the left heel down and let the right one lighten a little bit. Great. Do that a few times in super duper slow motion. And what I'm hoping you feel is whatever side is pressing, that work goes all the way up the leg into the back of into the glutes there. Yeah. Good, good, good. So let's pause and now see if you can recreate that at the same time on both legs. So both heels press. Sink back a little more if you can. Keep the thighs pressing outward and the ball of the big toe pressing downward. Yeah. It's like a more fierce pose, isn't it? Can you move the sternum forward and up, kind of on the diagonal? And if it feels all right to add in the arms, do that too. We won't stay for too long. One more breath in. And then on the exhale, let it go. Forward fold, hands on something, the blocks for the floor. Take a little hip shift side to side. So we'll take another version of our lunges here. Let's step the right leg back, toes tuck under, but keep the knee off the floor if you can. Yeah. And now let's take the left hand to the outside of the thigh like we did last time. Press thigh and hand into each other. Root down through the ball of the big toe. Move the pelvis back and the sternum forward. Great. So front leg is really working. Pay attention to the back leg here. Can you lift the back thigh? If you're feeling okay to add on, take the right arm and stretch it straight back alongside you. If that's no good, keep the hand down. Yeah. If the arm went back and you still want more work, take the arm forward out on the diagonal. Okay, everybody. Arm comes down, other arm comes down. Back knee, let's take it down to the floor like we did last time. Yeah. And just take a few more rounds of our back and forth here just to stretch it out. Now we're going to take a little variation on this. Let's pause next time the hips go back and the front leg is straight. And you can walk the arms back a little bit here. Now, see if you can bring the toes either to the floor or towards the floor. And then bend at the ankle so the toes turn in towards the midline, towards the right. Yeah, holy moly. And then we're going to add on. Move the pelvis back, move the sternum forward. And if you can, walk the arms to the left, possibly outside of the left leg. Possibly that's too much and you'll just go a little bit. Oh, yeah. Now we breathe. And wherever you're feeling sensation, imagine that you've got an extra, like a set of gills, and that could breathe. Instead of pretending it's not happening, just go right there. All right, and then very gently, let's start to back off. Relax the foot, redo the arms, bend the front knee. Let's tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and we'll go straight into downward facing dog pose. Take your time to do it. No rush. All right. Now options here. You could stay in down dog. You could take a little rest, knees to the floor, child's pose. If you want a little more activity, dog, plank, dog, back and forth. Yeah, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Sometimes we need more, sometimes we need less, and it's important to pay attention, yeah? Good. Now, if you've been in child's pose, let's actually everybody go there. Knees down, send the hips back. Arms could stay forward, or you could take them back, or you could fold the hands and rest on the forehead. Yeah, if it feels good to take a little wiggle side to side, that's a possibility too. Alrighty, friends. To get out of this, let's use down dog as a transition. We won't really stay. Just get there. And then from your down dog, we'll meet at the front of the mat, feet forward, no rush to arrive. You'll bend the knees, press into the floor, use the inhale to rise, arms come up. And the exhale to bring the arms back down. Nice. So, we'll do it. We'll do the second side, but we'll do a few other things first. How exciting. So I'm debating if I face forward or sideways. I'll face sideways so that you get this view. Keep the feet a little apart. Let's bend the knees and come back again into the chair pose. Don't go too low quite yet. And let's take hands to prayer again. Yeah. Now remember a second ago, we did that weight shift. Let's do that a few times. Make it even more exciting. Good. Next time, the left heel is the weighted one. Stay there. lift the right heel, so you're just on the ball of the foot. And then if you still want to add on, take the leg straight and just tap the toes to the floor, but no weight on the toes. Yes, good. And then we come back to center, ball of the foot, heel of the foot down, press the right heel down, left heel lifts up, and if you're still with me, go onto the tippy toes and go straighter in the leg. The toes will tap, but there's no weight on it. Okay, yeah, and that's that. Come back to center, toe ball, heel down. Even weight on both sides. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Ah, yeah. Stay here for a second. You can dangle if you like, or you can rest the arms on the legs. Maybe take a little side to side. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do the second side here for our lunge. So let's pause. Take a halfway lift, moving the chest forward. And then on the way down here, step the left leg back. Toes tucked under, knee off the floor if you can. If you need to put it down, that's fine. Then once you're in position, is this the second side? Yes, it is. Take the right hand to the outside of the right thigh. Press leg into hand, hand into leg. Draw back through the pelvis, forward through the sternum. Yes. Now, if you feel stable here, let go on the left side and take the left arm back. And if you're still with me, take the left arm forward. Everybody, though, the right side is still doing its thing. Yes. Down comes the hand, down comes the other hand. Lower the back knee. And then at first, here, take whatever you want, back and forth. And then we'll take that other one in a second. It's harder to move slower, isn't it? Yeah, you guys, let's pause the next time the hips shift back. If you need to walk the arms back, do so. And then slowly bring the sole of the foot either to the floor or towards the floor. And bend at the ankle so the toes bow in towards the left. Ah, yeah. Nice. Now from here, if you can, move the pelvis back, the chest forward, and maybe walk the arms to the right. For me, on this side, I can't go all the way. It's a little less than the other side. So I was like, nope, I got more on this side.
This is my better side.
This is your better side, yes. So normally, I wouldn't have us put the foot in this position, like if we had weight on it, but because there's not a lot of weight on it, it does give us that extra stretch that we wouldn't get otherwise, so. All right, let's reset. Redo the front foot, bend the front knee, arms come forward again, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. This time, let's go to plank and we'll stay. Now, if that's not working out, just do all fours position or plank on the knees. That's fine too. Yeah. Now, in your position here, gorgeous. Can you broaden the collarbones? That's it. Press down through the fingers and lift up through the lowest part of the belly without hunching in the neck and the shoulders. Yeah, you can do that on all fours, absolutely. Now, those of you, let's actually everybody do this. Tiny bend in both elbows, and if the legs are straight, tiny bend in both knees. That makes it a little worse, I think. Yeah. Okay, enough. Put the knees down, come all the way down to the belly. Oh yeah, let's take a little rest. Fold the hands and put the forehead on the hands. Yeah, take a little wiggle if you like in the pelvis. Good. So we'll do another variation here of our back bends, and if you're quite forward, you might scooch back a little bit. Let's keep the hands stacked, but slide the hands a little forward and the elbows in slightly. If elbows are just a little ahead of the shoulders for this one. Yeah. And then let's press the forearms down into the floor, and like we did on the others, try to drag the arms back as you drag the chest forward, and then we lift. Good. And relax down. So it's this pull back. That's the important part here. Arms pull back, chest pulls forward, lengthen before you lift. And down. Nice work. Last one. Good. When we come down, let's one more time rest the forehead on the hands. Bend your knees so the feet are up in the air, and just take a lazy circle so the feet just kind of draw a circle on the ceiling. Yeah. And then can you reverse the direction? Good. Okay. And then let's put the legs back down. Press back, down dog, again, just as a transition. We won't really stay too long. The down dogs, they're getting easier the more we do. Let's come stand at the top of the mat. So feet forward, root down through the legs. Use the inhale to grow tall. And exhale to bring the arms down. Okay. So we'll add on to our chair sequence, and feel free not to, so you can get off the bus at any station, and we'll make it a little more than it was last time. She's like, yay, I can't wait. All right, so again, we'll keep the feet a little apart, knees bent, hips shift back, not too low. Press out into your imaginary strap, root down the ball of the big toe, hands come to prayer. That's it. Shift your weight onto the left side, lift the right heel, and then lift the, straighten the leg and go onto the tippy toes. Yeah, now if you still want to add on, take the arms forward on the diagonal. That increases the load, which may or may not be what you want. And then if you're still with me, bend the knee, no weight on it. Take the leg back a little, no weight, and then forward. Ooh. And one more time, back and forward. Now remember, you can abort at any point. And then we come back to center, 2 legs down. Just stand for a second, release the arms. Oh, yeah, I'm like sweating bullets here. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Let's do second side, and then we'll be done with these. Done with these for the class. All right, last round. Knees bend, hips shift back. Start with hands to prayer. Shift over the right heel, presses down, left heel lifts. If you're adding on, straight leg, tippy toes to the floor. And then no weight on the leg, we bend and tap in the back. And then we tap in the front. This side's easier for me, and then in the back. And let's go one more time, front. And then just stand in the center. Oh, I forgot the arms. That's why it was easier. Oh well. And then up we come with the arms. Just forget it and put the arms down. That's right. And then take a little hula hoop here. Did anybody at home still do the arms? I forgot to say it. No, it's okay.
You betcha.
It was still hard enough, I think. All right. So, yeah. We'll do one. Let's do a side angle and a triangle. And then, Sarah, let me have you at this point flip your mat so you're parallel to me. And we'll, even though these are different poses, just in the setup for them, it'll be the same idea. You'll see on the front leg with the pressing out of the thigh. So join me here in the center of the mat. I'll mirror you. We'll separate the legs. And then rotate the right leg in and the left leg out. Going this direction. No, this way. Yeah. Hands to the hips. And then let's do this just as a little warm up. As the front knee bends, let the pelvis tilt. And then you'll come back to center. Yeah, so Sarah, look at me. Just be my mirror here. So we bend and find this little, exactly. Yeah. And then up we come. Great. Now let's pause, and the next time we're in this tilted position, take your left hand on the outside of the thigh, and like we've been doing all class, press the thigh and the hand into each other. Yeah, you guys, do you feel that? Keep that. Now on the back leg, press the heel down into the floor and try to press it back towards the back edge of the mat. Super strong legs. Left hand will stay. If you want to add on, take the right arm back, and then little half circle, sweep it down and then out on the diagonal. Oh, yeah. Nice. On both legs, can you have more weight in the heels, less in the toes? Little tremble, that's part of it. On the inhale, we come up back to center. Nice job. Side 2. That's it. So we'll start with just a little warm up. Hands onto the pelvis here. Bend your right knee and find the tilt. And then up we come. That feels good, doesn't it? Little inner thigh stretch, yeah. I'm a fan of the stretch, but also the work. I think they're good balance for each other. Let's pause next time you're in the tilted position. Right hand to the outside of the right thigh. Press hand and leg into each other. Yeah. Now on the back leg, root down through the heel. Try to press the heel towards the back edge of the mat. Stretch left arm back. And then if you're doing it here, slide down and then up on the diagonal. Yeah. The legs are working. Maybe the sweat is dripping. And you can't see my face, but I bet the corners of your mouth are turned up. That's the advanced version of this pose. Let's come back up to the center. Yeah. Come in for a moment. Parallel the legs and just come in. Yeah. We'll go again in triangle pose, but just take a break. Yeah. Good. Now, you'll probably want blocks for a triangle. If you have them, let's set them up like this at the back of the mat. If you don't have them and you wish you did, you could just put your hand on the leg and get there. All right, so let's do it. Separate your legs like we just had. Right leg turns in, left leg turns out. Hands on the hips. Now, triangle is a straight-legged pose, but I like to enter it with the bent knee. So let's bend the left knee, find the same tilt in the pelvis. And like we did in side angle pose, left hand to the left thigh and find the press. Yeah? Keep the press as you slowly start to go straighter in the leg. And you might not go all the way straight. It's a little awkward when at a certain point. And then when that point comes, you can let go of the leg, take the hand to the floor or the block. Keep this imaginary press out at the thigh, but counter it in the foot. Plant the ball of the big toe down. Excellent. Now, without disturbing your leg, can you spin the chest away from the floor? Maybe lift the right arm, maybe not. The legs are super duper solid in this position, aren't they? Yeah. Press into the back leg heel. Bend the front knee a little bit to come up. Inhale, we rise. Excellent. Side two. Hands to the hips. Change sides. Left leg turns in, right leg turns out. And then just a little bit, let's bend the knee and find the hand on the thigh again. So hand in the thigh press. Keep that idea. Also root down the ball of the big toe. And then as the leg starts to straighten, go slowly and keep that idea. The press in the hand and the push down through the ball of the big toe. When the time comes, you'll let go of the leg, take the hand to the block, and then we spin the chest away from the floor. Up comes the left arm. Great job. Yes. Now to get out, press into the back leg heel. Small bend in the right knee. Inhale your way up to center. Nice job. We'll parallel the legs. Bring yourself in. Just come back together. Yes, yogis. Hula Hoopasana celebration. Being done with the standing poses. Yes, finally, right? Go the other direction. Now, all of this pressing, a lot of work in here. So we'll take another stretch. We did earlier in class, we did the laying down, the figure four. We'll do a seated version. And if that's not working for you, you'll do the laying down version idea. So let's come down to sit. And you can actually just turn around so you're facing me. Yeah. And then I don't want to be too confusing, so I'll say side one and side two. So pick up one leg, lean back a little, and cross the ankle over the thigh, close to the knee, but not on the knee. Just pick whatever side you want to do first. That's it. And now for some of us, this is already plenty. See though if you can press down into the hands, lift the chest, and rock the pelvis so that you're more on the sitting bones. Yeah. If this is still not enough, you'll lift the pelvis, scooch it in a little bit, and then down. But be really incremental with that if you're doing it. Really teeny tiny little steps. Yeah. Now add on, whatever leg is the top one, can you press outward through your heel? Yeah. Great. Maybe take a tiny little side to side. It hits the spot, doesn't it? Yes. Good to work, but good to stretch too. All right, friends. Let's get out of this. If you've been on your back, you can just stay. Otherwise, if you've been sitting, take the leg off and let's move the fingers, the hands a little bit, the wrists. I always forget to say this, but if the hands are aggravated, you could go on your fists, on your fingertips if you need to here. So let's go into our second side. Lean back a little. Cross the second leg over. And maybe this is the more challenged leg. And if you need to do one side laying down, that's an option too. Once you are in the position, press down through the hands, lift up through the chest. Try to rock forward on the pelvis. So you're more on the sitting bones, and then make sure you can breathe. Yeah, if you still need more, you'll lift the hips and scooch them a teensy bit forward. Incrementally though, if you're doing that. And then whatever leg is on top, press outward through the heel, like you're standing on the foot. Nice job. Maybe a little wiggle side to side. You guys, you're rocking it. It's all easy stuff after this. Well, I guess it depends what you consider easy, but it'll be more stretch and less work. Yeah. No more work. Let's undo. Yeah, just gently here, release, move the hands around a little. If anybody's on your back, you can stay. Just do a little blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So we'll use the strap again for the end, and it's up to you if you want to have it in a loop or not. We'll do Supta Padangustasana with the leg up in the air and the strap over the foot. So you can arrange whatever hold you want to do. And let's all be on the same side for this one. So the right leg will come up. And I promise no more work. So the left leg, bent or straight, your choice. Typically, I would talk about how the left leg is working, but for today, just let the left leg relax. Yeah. And give yourself a moment yogi's choice. So that might be pulling the leg forward and back, maybe bend and straighten up the knee, maybe just holding the leg in position. Yeah. We'll make it a little more interesting in a second. So just give yourself a moment for whatever. And then let's pause when it feels like you're getting a pretty good stretch in the leg and back off slightly from that. So let the leg come a little away from you and see if you can make this adjustment in the pelvis. Tilt the tailbone a bit, not max capacity, but a bit towards the floor so that the lower back lifts a little away from the floor. Keep that position, and then without letting the pelvis round or tuck under, maybe the right leg can come a little closer. Maybe it can't. Maybe it can't. Once you're in this new setup, press the foot up into the strap and think about the other end of the leg, the thigh bone, right at the ball and socket joint. Press the ball down as the foot is pressing up. Yeah, good. All right, from here, friends, let's back off a little bit. And if the left leg is straight, long on the floor, bend up the left knee. We'll have the strap in the right hand. Take the straight right leg to the right as the bent left knee goes to the left. So opening the legs up equally like a book. That's it, yeah. And now you can use the right elbow as a little prop here for the arm if that works. And if anybody wants more, maybe you do, maybe you don't, you can lift up the left leg, keeping the knee bent, and just hold onto the leg with the left arm. Yeah. I find that when we have the opposite knee bent, we get a better inner thigh stretch than otherwise.
That's good.
Oh, good, yeah. I know, for me, my right one is so tight, and I never really paid attention to it until recently. So I try to do some, at least in every class, a little bit of inner thigh stretching. I give you guys what I need for myself.
It's working.
Yeah, awesome. And then let's come back up to the center. Release the leg. If you need to shake out the hands a little bit, take a little wiggle before side two, whatever you need to do. That's it. And then up comes the left leg. Right leg bent or straight, but just for this version, let the right leg be relaxed. And do whatever you want to do in the left side for a sec. Okay. Now when it feels like you're getting a pretty good stretch, pause and back off slightly from that. Yeah? Can you adjust the pelvis so the tailbone moves down towards the floor? The low back lightens up a little bit. And then without changing that in the pelvis, maybe you can bring the leg more towards you. But notice how the pelvis, if you tuck it under, the leg will go quite a bit further, but we don't want to do that for the moment. Yeah. Stay here. Press the foot up into the strap. And in the ball and socket joint, press the ball down into the socket. So pressing both ends of the leg away from each other. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's back off a little bit. If the right leg is long, bend it up. Strap in the left hand. The straight leg goes left, the bent knee goes right. And then once you've found your spot, if you wanted to, you could pick up the right leg and hold on to it with the hand, keeping the knee bent. If that's not in the stars, just stay where you were. Good. Yes. Hello, inner thigh. It's so funny. My right one is so much tighter than the left one. Even on this side, I'm still feeling the right one more. Mary, I'll have to ask Mary after class if she's the opposite. If her left one is tighter. Let's come back up to the center. She and I have scoliosis, but we go opposite directions. Release the leg. Yeah, release the strap. Yes, and just pause for a second. Yeah. So we kind of landed. We began in this position, laying on our backs with the knees bent, feet on the floor. Keep the knees bent for a sec and just take a moment to feel. Notice what you notice. Yes, we're about to head into Shavasana. Before we get there, let's take the hands on the thighs, just close to the hip crease, and press straight ahead, the hands into the legs. Think about creating a little space. Yes. And then we'll release and head into our final resting pose. That's probably the real reason you came today, Shavasana. Sarah, let me know if the light is annoying. I can turn it off. You're good. Okay. So as we settle, feel free. Oh, you'll just be laying down. Yeah. Yeah. If you do need any props or any adjustments, feel free to do what you need to do. See if you can let your face relax. You can relax the face, especially all around the eyes. The rest of the body will get that hint. Relax through the neck and the jaw. Don't have any tension in the belly. Allow gravity to take over. As we drop downward, inward. Bring your attention back to your body. And start to bring in just some gentle movement. Anywhere, anyhow. When it feels right, you can bend the knees. Roll yourself over to one side. From your side, take your time to come back up to sit. No rush to get there. Yeah, or don't. All right, friends. The light in me honors the light, all of you. Namaste. Namaste, yogis.